He was born in the dust, under a sun that could bake ambition into a man's soul. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, a simple name from a small town. The boy would become a king, the man, an emperor. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, El Señor de los Cielos, the Lord of the Skies. Amado Carrillo Fuentes understood the language of power. He knew that to control the trade, he had to control the skies. He invested heavily in aircraft, building a fleet of planes that would become his signature. Boeing 727s, gutted and modified to carry staggering payloads. Sleek Learjets, fast and agile, able to outrun anything the authorities could put in the air. He was a pioneer, the first to grasp the true potential of air power in the drug trade. Amado Carrillo Fuentes changed the game. He moved his product by the ton, not the kilo. They called him El Señor de los Cielos, the Lord of the Skies, and the name fit. Every king needs a palace, and Amado Carrillo Fuentes was no exception. In the heart of Juarez, he built a monument to his success, a testament to his wealth and power. They called it the Palace of 1001 Nights, a sprawling estate that would have made a sultan blush. Behind high walls, guarded by men with eyes as cold as the desert night, lay a world of opulence and excess. The mansion was a labyrinth of marble and gold, a testament to the vulgarity of unlimited wealth. Fountains gurgled with imported French water. Courtyards overflowed with exotic plants, their leaves a million shades of green. It was a place of lavish parties and secret meetings, where politicians rubbed shoulders with cartel lieutenants. The palace was a gilded cage, a symbol of Amado's power, but also of his isolation. In the heart of his palace, surrounded by luxury, Amado Carrillo Fuentes was a lonely king. Gold, the symbol of kings, the measure of wealth, the object of desire. Amado Carrillo Fuentes had a fascination with it, an obsession that bordered on the fetishistic. It wasn't just the wealth it represented, though he certainly had plenty of that. It was the permanence, the incorruptibility of the metal. In a world of fleeting loyalties and shifting alliances, gold was the one constant. His guns were gold-plated, Alaska, 47s and Colt pistols gleaming like treasures from a pharaoh's tomb. He ate from plates of gold, drank from goblets encrusted with diamonds. His belt buckles were solid gold, each one a miniature work of art. It was an obscene display of wealth, a flying middle finger to the authorities who tried to hunt him down. But the gold was also a shield, a way of keeping the world at bay. In the impoverished neighborhoods of Juarez, Amado Carrillo Fuentes was more than just a drug lord. He was a folk hero, a benefactor, a modern-day Robin Hood. He poured money into these communities, building schools and hospitals, paving roads and funding churches. He gave people jobs, put food on their tables, offered them a way out of despair. He understood the power of loyalty, the importance of having the people on your side. He knew that a few pesos, strategically distributed, could buy more than just silence. It could buy adoration. And in the slums of Juarez, Amado Carrillo Fuentes was adored. Mothers would whisper his name in gratitude as their children received medical care they could never have otherwise afforded. Shopkeepers would bless him as their businesses thrived. He was buying loyalty, ensuring that the people he considered his subjects would protect him, warn him, even die for him. But in the complex moral calculus of the drug trade, was it truly evil to do good with bad money? The DEA called him the most powerful drug trafficker in the world, a title that brought with it an intense and relentless pursuit. They wanted him bad, these agents of the law, these men who saw the world in black and white. They tapped his phones, infiltrated his organization, put a price on his head so high it made even seasoned criminals sweat. He was a ghost, a phantom, always one step ahead. He had eyes and ears everywhere, informants on both sides of the border. He knew when the DEA was closing in, knew which officials had been bought. He had judges and politicians on his payroll, cops and customs agents eating out of his hand. He played a deadly game of cat and mouse with the DEA. He used his wealth to corrupt, to intimidate, to disappear. But even the most cunning fox can be hunted down, and as Amado Carrillo Fuentes grew more powerful, the noose began to tighten. Death. It was a constant companion in Amado's world, a shadow that stretched long and dark. He had lived with it for so long, seen it claim so many, that it had become almost banal, a tool, a consequence, a fact of life. But as the pressure from the DEA mounted, so too did the shadow of death. He became more paranoid, more isolated. He trusted no one, not even his own family. He surrounded himself with bodyguards, an army of shadows armed to the teeth. He slept in a different room every night. His food tasted by servants before it touched his lips. He had made too many enemies, double-crossed too many powerful people. He knew they were out there, waiting for their chance to strike. He was a prisoner in his own gilded cage, the bars made of fear and paranoia. Amado Carrillo Fuentes died on July 4, 1997, under mysterious circumstances, during a plastic surgery operation in Mexico City. The official story was that he had suffered a fatal reaction to the anesthesia, but rumors swirled like dust devils in the desert wind. Some said he had faked his own death, disappearing with his vast fortune to live out his days in luxury. Others whispered that he had been betrayed, murdered by his own men, or perhaps by his rivals. Whatever the truth, his death left a void in the underworld, a power vacuum that sparked a bloody war for control of the Juarez cartel. The streets ran red with the blood of those who sought to take his place. He had built a machine of unimaginable wealth and power, but it was a machine fueled by blood and greed. His legacy is a complex one, a tapestry woven from threads of brutality and benevolence. Even the Lord of the Skies couldn't escape the gravity of his own past. The official story, a botched surgery, a tragic accident, never sat well with those who knew Amado Carrillo Fuentes. This was a man who planned for every contingency, who had eyes and ears everywhere. How could he be taken down by something as mundane as a surgical error? The operating room where he supposedly died became a crime scene, crawling with investigators. But the truth remained elusive, hidden behind a wall of silence and fear. The doctors who had performed the surgery disappeared shortly after Amado's death. Some said they were living under assumed identities, hiding from the cartel's wrath. The mystery deepened when photographs of Amado's corpse were leaked to the press. Had Amado Carrillo Fuentes outsmarted everyone, even death itself? Years after his death, the legend of Amado Carrillo Fuentes lives on. In the cantinas of Juarez, his name is still spoken with a mixture of respect and awe. He is a ghost story, a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most powerful men are mortal. He became a figure of folklore, his exploits exaggerated with each retelling. Songs were written about him, ballads that romanticized his life and glorified his crimes. He was Robin Hood, and Scarface rolled into one. His story, a potent cocktail of ambition, greed, and violence, continues to fascinate and horrify. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, the Lord of the Skies, may be gone, but his shadow still stretches across the deserts of Mexico.